what you're saying. Nani? Get out my business, okay?
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Heero. That's Eric. I don't really try to explain why or how I make my money in the sense of dividends, because a lot of people find dividends to be extremely boring. And you're absolutely right. It is the most boring, mundane thing you can do in the stock market, because you literally buy something and someone pays you to hold on to it. That is literally the definition of a dividend. But there's something that becomes innately popular about the question. If you know that you're going to be paid regardless for holding it, does that mean all dividends are good, Eric?
No.
And this is what we're here to discuss. I'm here to give you some key point things, not the whole thing, but just some things you should be looking at when it comes to the terms of dividends and why you should buy them and why you shouldn't buy them. So we're going to take a look at 3 dividends, one that's paid weekly, one that's paid not weekly, monthly, one that's paid on a quarterly basis, and then one that has special dividend payouts only. And we'll look at those 3 things. But before we dive in that, Eric, what's going on? How you been?
I've been good, man. Yeah, it's a long week, but you know, I'm here. I'm just gonna talk about this dividend chart, man. This Heero's infamous dividend chart. I always like to see what you got cooking up. And Heero's got everything on this really detailed sheet that he may let y'all take a peek at, and you can kind of see how he's tracked his growth on there, man. So I'm really interested to see what's happened. I haven't seen it in a little bit, so let's do it.
No, definitely. There's something to say, like, and for all you guys that don't know, in like probably like 3 weeks, I'll be putting $5,000 into the stock market, 4,000 of which I will invest personally. But that $1,000, I think we're gonna let the stream decide what we're gonna buy with that, from a curated list, because I'm not a fucking simp. Like, I still gotta make real money off of it. But we'll take a better look at that, and you know, hey, hopefully you'll be able to see like how I'm buying stuff and where I'm buying it from. But let's get into it, right? So this isn't sized up perfectly well like the way I wanted it.
But what are we looking at here?
We are looking at Webull, actually. So I'll give you guys a little bit of tidbit notes here. Boom. Okay. Let me adjust this screen. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Adjust the screen. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. See all the love. So the dividend stock.
AIV.
Yeah. AIV. So everybody can pull that up so you can follow along with us. We're looking at AIV. And also let me give you this link, because if you are interested in actually figuring out what we're doing, Webull is a free platform that I use, and it has great screeners, great effects, and they give out a great information on it. But we're looking at AIV, which is ticker symbol AIV. It's currently at $7.19. Full disclosure, I bought this stock when it was $5.23. That was during the crash back in May. When I bought about 20 shares. I recently sold 13 shares of it, so that leaves me with 7. But why did I hold on to the 7? Well, let's look at it, right? Their cost open and closed for Friday was $7.04 with a high of $7.21. So people literally made 18 to 17 cents today. That is a great profit margin increase for them. And AIV's on the upcome because their PE ratio is 125. That's incredible. That's clearly a sign of a bubble system. But I would be more nervous if they didn't have this 1 billion in front of them. So they have a bunch of market cap space to really work with. But why is their stock price so low, and why are they suffering? Well, let's take a look, right? So let's go ahead and look at this from a 5-year standpoint. Boom, look at this. This is where this space is covering from. Look at this peak to look to this peak. Look how much white is in between that. This is where this gap is coming from. This is where this happenstance is coming from. But moreover, their forecast is what's really amazing for it. They are anticipating some heavy times. Their actual versus their real, their estimated versus their real. I think 2021 is going to be a lot more generous to them. So this is going to cause another spike like this. These spikes will continue to happen because they are under promising and overperforming as a goal saying. You see in 2020, they were very bombastic about themselves. Everyone Anyone who would have told you in 2020 the only markets that really thrived were markets that had the capital to stand on already. But all of this stuff in balance sheets, this you could get lost in this stuff. This is fascinating. But what you really want to do when you get here is go to the release. Financials, corporate actions, and dividends right here. Boom. So corporate actions to dividends. And now looking at this is a company that pays 82 cents with an occasional special dividends that shows a pattern, and they've been consistent since 2016. Eric, you would think that this is a great dividend stock to invest in.
82 cents. That sounds like, man, let me buy in. I'm gonna get 82 cents. And how do they pay out their dividends? They do it quarterly? Do they do it?
They do it quarterly. They do it quarterly, so you'll get 82 cents 4 times a year, and ever since 2019 they've thrown in a special dividends. So when I bought in
$1.54 in 2019 special dividend.
Yeah, but I want you to understand
that's per one individual stock. Right?
Exactly. And remember, back in 2020 I owned how many? 20 of them.
Yeah.
So, but if you were listening to this story, I gave all the context clues in the beginning. I sold 13 of them. Why would I ever do that? Well, you have to understand, dividends are not promised to you. The only dividends that are promised to you are dividends that are built off of ETFs and REITs, I believe, because they have a federal bylaw stance that says that 90% of the profits have to go back into the investors. So what made me sell? Well, guys, they had a press release. The last time they actually paid a dividends was 11/03/2020. We're almost back to a full year where they haven't paid dividends. And you could be lost in the sauce sitting here on this dividends thinking you're doing well if you don't check out of it. So out on a star rating, this would get the lowest rating I would give. This would be a 1-star rated stock for me because it doesn't pay me dividends. And because they can pull this number anytime, anywhere, it doesn't help. My goal of keeping the remaining 3 I have, I believe, is to make sure that when the dividends returns, I have a low enough PE ratio and a low enough buy-in rate that when people say, "Ooh, cool, they're giving their dividends back," and they want to buy on, it just stacks the price for me. I'm always going to be down with a 2%, 4% dividend ratio versus a 13, 20%. It sounds great up front, but over time, this company has longevity in my eyes. 6 years in the game, I have a little faith in you. Not as much as like a Walmart, the next person will look at, but that's the fundamental turning point there. What they pay you doesn't matter if they don't pay you. Let's go to the next one. Blackstone Group, ticker symbol BX. It's super important that you understand something about me. The New York Stock Exchange is infamous in my portfolio. A lot of my stocks do that, but I'm also a person who is 10% above the Dow Jones right now.
Which is saying something because Dow Jones is
intense.
Performing unusually well right now.
Their PE ratio is at 19.43, which is expectable, and this is commendable for a team that's been in the game for as long as them, with an opening of 98 and a closing of 99. Like, it's pretty cool. Their capit space is what's super impressive here. They got money to spend. Me and my friends, we got money to spend. And their overall volume is pretty decent. They're a safe bet. But when we're talking about their financials, right? Look at this estimate. Even in years where the pandemic wasn't an issue, they didn't give a damn. Wanna know why? Because they rely on other people's money to make money. And we won't get too dragged down in that. Let's look at the dividends.
But can we talk before while you're going over to the dividend, can we talk about why the Blackstone Group has such growth this year and such huge projections?
Give it to them.
So for those of you guys who own a house, you're safe. For those of you who do not own a house, there's companies like Blackstone Group.
Mm-hmm.
Blackstone Group is basically they raise money and they invest. And what is Blackstone Group investing in right now? Building single family homes, high-rise apartment buildings to be able to pay out monthly monthly profits to those who are invested into the group, and they're doing that by making the majority of Americans renters. They are artificially inflating the cost of housing. They can afford to do that because um, they have so much money. Now, this has drastically affected the real estate market. It has driven up the cost for production material. Everything's gone up. Wood was the first thing to go up. There was a lumber shortage for several months. I said these things affect how we live and breathe, and these are companies that most of y'all haven't heard of. But the reason why it's good that Hero's talking to you about this because look on that screen while he explains to y'all these dividend payouts.
No, definitely. So the thing that you have to also remember is the thing that I love the most about this is how often they pay their dividends out. This is
That's crazy.
look at how often they literally pay their every 2 or 3 months they're paying out a dividend. So normally when they go to quarter, that means it's at least a guaranteed 3. But here they pay out their dividends out randomly. They had 5 months, so that's a little bit over 2 months that they were able to pay out 2 separate dividends, all at different prices and all at different ranges. The only dead spot they have is right here, and it's 2016. But once again, I'm taking my chances here with them. I will gladly live here. And the only reason I don't think it's just because they didn't have a recorded date here. They didn't even tell you they were going to pay you, and they just paid you.
Mm-hmm.
So they're totally invested in paying out their dividends. For me, this is going to be a 2-star dividend payout because one is randomized. It's just a pleasant surprise to wake up and see money in your account. But I only own 2 shares of this company, and it's for 2 reasons. Because once again, it's other people's money that they're really dealing with. They're responsible for making money for other people. And for the dividend payout ratio, 82 cents, 96 cents, it's a pretty good thing. But then you could run into a certain situation where you're getting 37 cents, 39, 37. It's one in a few, but it's still definitely a ratio that I don't really feel comfortable with. $100 for 37 cents, maybe over the course of 4 payouts. If I own 10 shares, now we're talking because I can use that dividend payout to go buy what? More of AIV if they ever bring their dividends out. You use your dividend payouts to buy more stocks, period. You don't use it to pay your bills. Use it to buy more stocks. Your bills should be paid with another form of income. But I give this a decent 2, Eric. I mean, if that's a 2-star stock for me.
I mean, if that's a 2-star stock, what's a 3-star stock? Because I mean, and I saw some legit, random, unexpected payouts, some scheduled payouts.
No, absolutely.
We know what they're doing right now, and
all right, then let's talk about Hero's 3-star.
I gotta see something. I need to see that, bro.
Let's look at some 3-star stocks. Then we're looking at ticker symbol IEP. It's on the Nasdaq. It's opened up.
Tech stock.
It's a tech stock, so you already know. It opened up at 56, closed at 57.37. Full disclosure, I own 10 shares of this stock. And his PE ratio's in the trash. This is super important. PE, negative 111. 52-week low, $47. Turnover rate, they don't have that, but the cap is 14 billion. The volume is extremely low, and this is another reason why this stock is. Now, this is going to be considered a 3-star stock for me, but it is extremely volatile. So I can't really give it a full 3-star, but it will be a 2 for me, just because it is a risky dividend to play with. Let's talk about it. They also have their extremes from 2016. I try to keep them all within the same time limit, but they pay out $2 per dividend payout. It's a 3-star. It's a 3-star dividend payout for just that purpose, but the risk that comes with it is super inevitable. So let's look at it here. This is a 2-month right here, but look at this gap. Now we're talking about a 4-month gap here or something of that nature. Another 4.
I'm fine with that. They're paying me $2.
It's they don't have a scheduled form. They kind of pay it whenever they want. And I got in at 2020, so I was seeing it from this date. This was the date that I bought in. from this day, and that's when I bought it for spending. And at the time, I believe I paid like 40 something, like 48 or $49. So since then, and I own 10 shares. Every time I do this, so that's $20 I make every single time they decide to pay out a dividend.
Plus
And
your rate of growth.
My rate of growth. So, and this is why I use AIV, because remember when I told you I bought AIV? I bought AIV after buying 10 shares of that, and that's when I bought the 10 shares of AIV. And then when I got my second payout, I bought another 10 shares. And that's when AIV eventually stopped paying their dividends, and I sold 13 of them. So this comes full circle. I used my experience over time growing to then come back and figure out a better market style for it. Now, let's just make sure we're all clear on these financials. They have been anticipating this market going to dirt. And I give them a laughable expectation of only having negative 0.16, but maybe they have something in store when they do their official announcement. But otherwise, as far as the dividend is concerned, I think that this, just for its payout, is a great dividend, but you need to be innately aware that it's random, and they're definitely struggling right now. But that's me. That's the little chart right there. That's our little suave into it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about it, please, hit us up. Let us know what you think. Actually, we do have a comment. What's up? Superhuman, true, use passive income to reinvest into more assets to make you money, to make that money while you don't need that income. That is ultimately the freedom. The whole reason why we're even doing this, the whole reason why you're up listening to us, the whole reason why 5 people are watching this right now is to basically try and secure a better future for themselves. And I can't knock you for wanting to be the best version of yourself. So continue to read up on these things. If you're interested in looking at my chart, I'm revamping it right now to get it ready for the 5,000 payout for it. But for everything else, let us know what you think about it in the comment section below. Eric, where can they find us?
Right here on Twitch, man. This is where we live. If you're not a Twitcher, man, you can go over to our faithful side piece YouTube. We are over there. Still got our 1,000 sub goal over there on YouTube. If you are new, we'll drop that link tree for you. You can go over and check us out on all platforms. We're like Visa. We're everywhere you need to be. Don't forget, if you are on Amazon Prime member, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate that. Come in and subscribe at tier number 3. That would be greatly appreciated. If not, we'll accept any subscriptions that we can get. So we appreciate you guys coming on, chatting with us, texting with us, watching us talk about this money. And we hope that we get you to like, share, subscribe as much as possible, share as much as possible, man. We greatly appreciate you. I know we can catch the vibes, but it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime, and I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my line, and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down, and we can catch the vibes.